Welcome to Clean Air Vapor's video series on building a POS system for your small business. I'm Timothy Haid. I'll be your host. I am using Filemaker 14 Pro. This video series is an extended series of videos to help the small business owner cope with the overwhelming cost of digital sales recording and accounting. Welcome back to how to build a POS system for your small business. I'm Timothy Haid, your host, and let's get into it. I know it's been a couple of weeks since we did this, but let's get into your store. Go ahead and open it. It doesn't really matter where you end up. All of your things should be available. We will go to the launch page and we can see where we are on the launch page. We have obviously register 1 set up already. So here in the admin portal, let's go through, let's go back to the launch page really quick. Launch page. Okay. And in this launch page, we're just going to edit this profile, get into field picker, and you can tell here we have a security box. So let's make sure that we don't have anything there. Let's grab the security box and put the security box out here. Now, what we're going to do with the security box is we are going to just put it wherever your little heart desires, basically. It doesn't really matter. But I'm going to make it bigger, though. I think that'll probably work out just fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to create a script to use the security box so that you can access certain things without having to worry that other people are possibly getting into your system. Now I'm going to want to I'm going to center that just because I like it when it's more centered. And so if you are on like an Apple iPad or whatever, you would be able to see this, click on it and get whatever you want to, but or make it work. So let's set the tab order, and we're just going to clear them all because we don't want any tabs on this particular page. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to double click on the admin button, and where it says do nothing, let's tell it to perform a script. And let's add a new script for that. And we're going to call it Let Me In. Doesn't really matter. You name it whatever you want to. It's going to be a very specific script, and it's going to be just for this purpose. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to have an if statement. And what we're going to do is we're going to select a password. So we're going to say if, let's do this. Let's start off with is empty and security box. And then we're going to tell it to just halt the script. Then we'll select another if statement. And now we're going to say if the security box is equal to let's back up, backspace. Let's put these in parentheses because we want it to be exactly right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if the security box is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, then what do we want it to do? Well, the very first thing we needed to do is we needed to set the field. And this field is going to be the security box. And what we're basically doing now is we're just telling it to erase anything that's in the field. Just blank it out so no one else knows what was written in there. And now we'll go to a layout. And the layout that we're going to go to is the admin portal. You just double click on it, it'll go right in there. And then you can I'm kind of a big person on halt script, so I think we should just halt script. Never hurts to be there. And that just ends it. So that if you... Let's close all this stuff out. Let's agree. Okay. Close it. Okay. Now we're going to exit it. And we're going to push the admin button. See? Absolutely nothing happened and nothing's blinking. So you don't know what's going on. Now what we'll do is we'll come over here. Now this needs to be available in browse mode. And we're going to add 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 4, 5. And let's see what happens. Nothing. So did we forget to say if it is not equal? So let's do that. Let's go back in. Let me in. Now we have the if it is empty, just leave it alone. Enter script. And if it has this number, to go ahead and empty that number. So now we need to figure out, well, let's go here, and now let's add another if. So if this security box is not equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, then what we want it to do is we want it to set the field, the security box, and we're going to set it to blank. And then you can either halt the script or you can create a warning. So I like to do warnings. I like to kind of make people think. So we're going to write security warning. And we'll write authorized users only. Attempts are monitored and may result in termination or legal action as required under the law. And we're just going to say, we're just going to leave it to okay. And the reason why we're doing this is because by putting something in there that's a little bit scary to people, it'll keep them from trying to get into it. Now this number can be this 1, 2, 3, 4. You can have that any number you want. You can have it 25 digits long as it is in this script. You're okay. So here you notice, well, if it goes into here, well, it goes to the porthole. Well, then it's just going to continue wanting to go the rest of the script because there's no real end, right? So we need to put a halt script after that. So after you go there, halt script. Because end if is not actually an end, it's a spacer between if and end if. So now let's see what happens. If we go ahead and save that and get out of there, and we exit this, and now we have 1, 2, 4, 5, and we press that button. Authorize users only. See, and it erased it right away, and it's not blinking, which is really good. So now we're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and there it is. Now if you go back to the launch page, see, it's gone. It erased it. And then you go to the admin portal and you're like, okay, well, here it is. So I noticed that we started on a few things in the admin portal. One of the things that we're probably going to want to work on very soon is we need to get into some daily totals. We need to figure out where we can start to create our daily sales. So let's go to our database and to our tables. And so we have the menu, which is the basic page. We have a register page. We have an invoice. We have a couple of registers here, an inventory and a back office section, and an admin portal. And then the register 1 monitor and the register 2 monitor. Now we have one field in the register 1 monitor, but we need more than that. So what this register 1 monitor does is it monitors any sales that go through that register. So we're going to need some pretty detailed information. So let's start with a date, and we're going to control D so that it's a date. We're going to create something called time of action. And the reason why we're doing that is because we want to know exactly when this happened. And this is actually a time. And create. Now you can have these all on one, which would be a time stamp. I like to do them separately, and the reason why I like to do them separately is because I want to be able to separate them by the date and not necessarily by the time. So I create one date and one time of action. The time of action will be a creation. Once a record is created, it will automatically go in. Now we're going to need an invoice number. And that is Control N is a number. We're going to need cash sales, which is also a number. Credit sales, which is also a number. Total sales, which is actually going to be a let's back up. Let's make this taxable sales, which is a number, because we want to be able to keep our taxes separate. We want to be able to say, this is how much we paid, or this is how much we collected in taxes. So here we're going to say taxes collected. And if you remember on the invoice, there's actually a space that we created for the taxes collected, and that's where we're going to put that number right there. Now if we want to, we're going to need like for this one, cash sales, we're going to need a summary of that. And so let's go up. We just added an S in front of it, and then we changed this to summary, which is Control L. And we want it to be a total of the cash sales. And then here we're going to click on credit sales. We're going to just do the capital S, and let's do Control L. Control L is a calculation. Control S is a summary. That's right. So I had that messed up. And we're going to create this one, and this one is going to be a total of the credit card sales. And then we probably are going to want a taxable sales summary. And I'm just going to do the Control S thing. Taxable sales. And then the taxes collected, we are definitely going to want a summary of those. Now this would be a really great, just a very basic system for keeping track of, so that what you could do is when we've created this particular deal, that you can go in there and you can look at it and you can say, well, these are all the sales, and you'll have the summary numbers, which will give you the total amount of cash sales that you made up to that minute, the total amount of credit card sales, the total taxable sales, and the total of the tax collected. Now, if you want to have a total of all of these, if you want to have like a total sales, that's fine. You can have a total sales. It's kind of a waste of space, but I will add it in there, because A total sales is something that that would be, well, let's just create it. And now I'm going to create a summary of it. And Control S, create of total sales. Now, the reason why is because what you really want is your taxable sales. This is the amount of money that you have collected, but it's not necessarily what should be in your drawer. What's in your cash drawer is going to be your total sales, because that includes your taxable sales and the taxes that you collected. And you obviously have a summary of those, but if you want to just go ahead and combine those two, you can do that. Now, there's another way you could do this too. If you wanted to do, you could just do a C, you could do a calculation of the total sales. And I'm going to show you how to do that really quick, but I'm going to erase it because I'm not going to use it. And what this is how can I explain this? So this would be the total sales. So it's going to be the summary of the cash sales plus the summary of the credit card sales plus the taxes that you've collected. So if you have like a split payment, then you would have, here, and obviously you can run any of those at any time. Do not evaluate if reference fields are empty. We don't really care about that. So that would cover your primaries. I don't really think that we need it. Calculations are wonderful. They have so many wonderful uses, but nothing that I could really that I really want per se. So now what we're going to do is we're going to need to create a page that, see, remember this page? This was a wonderful page, wasn't it? We're going to need to create a page that will take us to that spot. Let's see. Back office. Well, what we could do is we could just recreate a back office page. So let's do that. Let's file, manage, layouts. We're going to go into back office. We'll duplicate it. I know I have said don't ever duplicate it. But at this point, I'm just ready to make things happen. So we're going to call this daily sales 1. And we want to show the records from the register 1 monitor. And because I think one of the reasons why I really don't have an issue doing this is because there's really nothing on this page at all. There's no fields or anything on this page that are going to interrupt my ability to utilize this page. So what I'm going to do is daily sales 1. Layout setup. The problem is that we need this to be a list view and not a form view. And I think we're going to have a problem with that. We may have to just recreate a whole new page. Part setup, tab, I'm just going through really quick to see if there is a way that I can fix this quickly without having to create a different one. Well, let's go to layouts, let's go to daily one sales, and we're just going to delete that turkey. And let's create a new layout, because and I'm just going to call it daily sales 1, and we're going to look for register 1 monitor. We're just going to select the computer in a list view, and now we're going to need to go to our electric. I think that's the one that we're using on this one, is the electric view. Okay. We're going to go ahead and slide this out to where we want it. Go ahead and put this down to, I think I'm going to make it 135. Just going to make it 135. Well, maybe my computer stopped. Delete. Put some text in here. Daily sales reporting. And click off of it. If you remember correctly, we have to click off of it. We're just going to make it big. Of course, you know me, I really like the 18th century. Come on. Trying to find the center. And it doesn't like me. There we go, right there. Now we'll obviously need to build a button. We're going to build a quick button because we're going to want to be able to go back to wherever we came from. And obviously this is going to be in the admin portal. But you may want to be able to have your manager see it as well. And if that's the case, then we will, what we can do is we can do this. We can create this and then make another one. So this one, you can just copy it. So we're going to say console, and we're just going to, I'm going to wrap it with a light blue just so you can see it. This will take you right back to I'm just going to do this as a single step because I want to make this go really fast. Oop. And we're just going to say go to layout, and it's going to be to the admin portal because that's where we're going to access this initially from, because we are the owners obviously of our store, so it'll go right back to there. Now if we're later on, I'll talk a little bit about when we duplicate this. As you saw earlier, I actually duplicated. I went to manage layouts and I was able to just duplicate one. Well, we don't want to duplicate this one until it's finished. But so let's go to our field picker. We're going to select, I don't like any of those things. We're going to select date, time of action, invoice number, cash sales, credit sales, taxable sales, which is our subtotal, taxes collected. And then before we go any farther with that, we can do, let's put our total sales there. We can do total sales. We could put our calculated sales down there too, but so for now let's just leave it like that. And what I want to do is I want to highlight all of these because I am big on making them bigger. Don't like them to be too small. I'm going to select my appearances because I want these to look good, but I don't want them to be in bubbles. I just don't want them to be in bubbles. And I'm gonna go 0, 0, and I want them all to be in the centers, and I want the printing to be in bright white. And now I need to go to my layout, my part setup. I'm going to create a sub-summary part. I'm going to print this one above. And then I'm going to create another sub-summary part by date, and I'm going to print that one below. And now you can barely see it, so I'm going to click on it over there, come over here, and we're going to look at the position of it, and it says the height is 4. Well, that's not going to work, so we're going to make it 35. And then we're going to click on this other one, and it says 4, and we're going to make that one 35. And I believe our body is at 40, 35. Let's change our body to 35 as well. I just like them when they're all kind of the same. Now we will select these, put them dead smack in the center. We're going to select the text, put the text here. We're just going to go ahead and do Control M because we're going to want that by the date. Remember, click off of it. Go to 18 or 24. Put it there. I think I'm going to go with 18 on this because I just don't like it too much when it's too big. And I want the color to be very contrasting. So I'm going to make it a very light yellow. And we'll go ahead and put the labels in on this later. But what we need to do now is we need to delineate this bottom thing. This footer basically is what it is. So let's go to our appearance, and you can either make this a gradient, you can make it, whatever you want to, but I like it to stick out a little bit and just be different in a way that is relevant to what we're trying to accomplish. So I'm going to start with a slightly lighter color. And what do I want to do with this? I don't want anything to do with that. I think I'm good with that right like it is. I think that would look pretty cool. Now we need to go back to our field picker because now we need to put all of our summaries in. So the summary of the cash sales, the summary of the credit card sales, the summary of taxable sales, the summary of taxes collected, and the summary of the total sales. Now for these units, I like them to be obviously larger, and I also like them to be bolded. And these I'm going to make, I think a bright white would be just fine. I don't think we really need to make them a super color. Maybe we'll make them slightly yellow. Okay, so we've been running now for about 30 minutes, and I've been trying to go as fast as I can. I'm just slow at doing this, I guess. So in the next video, we'll finish this out, and then I'll show you how we're going to actually get information from our invoice to it. Until next time, thank you for watching, and we will see you later. Let's go to the console really fast. Wait. Go to the console. The reason why it didn't do anything, by the way, is when we went to Daily Store Sale 1 and we exited the layout, there was nothing there. It's because we've never created a record. So now you actually have to create a record. And if you were to sort it, you would sort by date, descending, sort. And now you have your bottom pieces. And you even have these little bubbles that stick out, so it gives you a really cool little visual effect. You can say, look, it's sticking out. This is what it is. But as you can tell, you will like it so much better when this tells you the exact date, the exact time that we created this record. So you're good to go. We will put a sort button in here too. But until then, hey, I gotta let you go. I will talk to you guys later. Thank Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I truly appreciate you a heck of a lot. If you have any questions, if you need anything, you want anything, just let me know. I'll do what I can to help you out. Thank you. Good day.